All right. Hello and welcome everybody to What's Your Story? I am the life orchestrator millionaire, Dr. Varun Gandhi. Love and abundance, everybody. Thank you for joining in. Today we have a special episode because our guest is Prashantt Gupta, and I've titled this episode The Life of an Actor. You'll find out why. So, Bollywood, the glam, the glitz, and the fame. We see this prolific creation on the big screen. Today, let's find out how it really is. We'll dive deeper into the hard work and dedication required to put together a 2-3 hour film. So, everyone that's joining in on YouTube, Facebook, please hit the like button. Please invite a friend to join in with you to watch this interview and also subscribe to this channel. And definitely, if you have a question, please post it in the comments below and I will make sure to ask Prashanth all your questions. So, a little bit about Prashanth. From his early childhood, he began performing on stage. By the time he was 18, he decided to pursue an acting career and trained in New York City before moving to Mumbai. He has acted in several Bollywood films such as Neerja, the Tashkent Files, Issaq, and just recently the amazing TV series Special Ops. Definitely watch that if you haven't seen it. I loved it. And he is now a partner in a Hollywood company called Mulberry. He recently produced and starred in his first American film, A New Christmas. He's a passionate poet with several of his writings and videos published. When I was kind of Googling about a little bit about you, I found this really cute phrase that you had put up on Instagram at some point. It said, he's a creative at large, an actor at medium, and nothing small about me. And I really love that. So I wanted to put that out there. Welcome, Prashanth. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Varun. It's a pleasure talking to you, and it's a pleasure to be in the States after 2 years. The States is home, and of course now Mumbai is also home. But I'm grateful to you for labeling this the life of an actor because I take that word very seriously, actor, and the amount I know about you, you're the kind of person who wants to understand a person's mindset, psyche, and their mental health, regardless of what profession they're in. And you said something very poignant about what goes into making a 3-hour movie, and it just suddenly hit me like a ton of bricks all over again. I've reminded myself of this many times that a lot of us build houses that are $500,000, $1 million, $2 million, and we're going to live in them for 15, 20 years of our life. And that's how much it costs a movie to make a movie that you're going to watch in 3 hours and determine whether you liked it or not. And it's done with. It's whether it's going to do good or not good. That is how delicate and how fragile movie making is.
Yeah.
And people know about the experience that they have when they go into a theater or put on Netflix. And if they don't like what they saw in 20 minutes, they might even shut it off,
Right.
But with the process of making one, from the germ of the idea to the delivery of it, I can tell you A New Christmas, which is the only movie I have produced so far, taught me more about acting and cinema than 14 years combined of doing 16 films and going to acting school for 3 years. I would advise anybody out there who is pursuing this industry as a career to assist somebody of repute for a couple of years just to gain hands-on knowledge of every craft: acting, storytelling, writing, or camera work.
Everything that goes into the whole craft of making the movie. I really
Absolutely.
love that advice. You know, in your bio, there's a very particular point at the very beginning that says that from childhood you began acting, you were on stage, and by the time you were 18, you decided that you wanted to go into film. I wanted to start there. What's your story around that? Like, how did you know so early on that you wanted to get into acting? Because for a lot of people, like in my case, for example, it took me 30 plus years to realize that this is what I want to do. I wanted to interview people and get to know people better, kind of like what you mentioned. So how did you know so early on?
Um, I would have to thank my parents who kind of threw me onto the stage because uh, Indian families that were coming up in the US in the 80s and 90s were very particular and very serious about inculcating cultural values in their children, especially those who were being born in America or who moved to America at the age of 3 or 4, which is a very impressionable age. And these parents of mine, so my parents are immigrants who were born in the 50s and they came to America in the 70s. I was born in the 80s. So it was very serious and very important to them that whether it's the Ramayana or the Mahabharat or film, in those days, we actually did not have the term Bollywood. The term Bollywood came around, I think, in the late 90s or mid 90s, I could say, post the three Khans being,
Right.
megastars. In the 80s, we never heard of the term Bollywood. It was the Indian film industry. So annually, we used to have Diwali functions and Holi functions and any kind of cultural functions here in New York. And we would dance. We would dance to famous Bollywood numbers. Um, so I think my exposure to the stage um, awakened this passion and this realization that I think I'm pretty good at this, and I think I like to do this, and I love how the audience applauds and claps. I love how people come to me later on and say, "You were too good, beta. You were too good." And right around the same time, simultaneously, Bollywood actors had started doing shows in America, concerts. So I started seeing Amitabh Bachchan and Mithun Chakrabarti and Shah Rukh Khan and Salman Khan and Amir Khan do their shows, and 15, 20,000 NRIs going to see them at Madison Square Garden, at Giant Stadium, at Nassau Coliseum. And I'm like, 200 people watch me. And I go crazy. What if 20,000 people saw me? So I think a part of it had to do with being starstruck and like, wow, this is what I can do with the stage and the art. And part of it had to do with knowing that I enjoy performing.
Right.
I put these two together. And by the time I was 18, I told my father that I want to become an actor. And I don't think you should have a problem with it because you've been encouraging me as an artist my whole life. So I don't want to waste that. I don't want to join the family business. Um, I want to do what I want to do with my life. And fortunately, I was very well supported, very well encouraged, very well blessed. Little did I know at that time that the journey ahead could be 10, 12, 14 years before you really make it. Um, and anybody would be swayed away from their dreams if it could take 10, 12, 14 years to make it. That's not a short amount of time. But looking back at my journey, I'm grateful that it has made me the man I am, the person I am. I've come out of so many mental health crises. I've come out of so many mental health crises. It's unbelievable. Um, so, so I'm grateful now, retrospectively, to the journey. But I look at my struggle as air turbulence. When we go through it, it's hell. Nobody appreciates air turbulence. Okay, when you go to a amusement park, you can appreciate a crazy roller coaster, but 3 minutes of air turbulence can scare anyone,
Yeah.
and that's what I would say the struggle did to me. It was turbulence, but you look back and you're like, all right, I sailed through, and I'm gonna land just fine. And what did the turbulence teach me? Is what life is all about.
That is very true. Wow, that is such great advice. And I love the analogy of turbulence. And you briefly mentioned the mental health. I wanted to touch upon that actually. Let's dive deeper into that. So, what kind of challenges, especially the mental health challenges, does an actor or did you go through in your journey?
See, to be told that you're no good, to be told that you don't fit the bill, and to be see, the thing is, I started in New York, where you were rejected very respectfully, very cordially. There's a certain level of manners that there are in America, and there's no system of hierarchy. So you can walk into a casting office, and there's an assistant, there's a casting director, and there's no egos. There's no reason to belittle you or make you feel like shit. Um, so I was used to the American way of behavior, of
Hmm.
mannerisms. I'm not saying it's completely clean and polished, but when I moved to Mumbai, I was already married. I already had my first child, and I've going back to the analogy of air turbulence. I landed in Mumbai almost like my plane crashed in Mumbai, and it was in a jungle and like Castaway, Tom Hanks's film Castaway, where you
Mm.
have no idea what to do, how to survive, who to talk to. Um,
Wow.
and I would walk into these studios, and these 21, 22-year-old girls and boys who don't know the first thing about acting would simply look at you and say, "No, sorry, go. No, no, you don't fit the bill. No, no, no. क्यों आए हो? अच्छा कल आना." Um,
Wow.
and this is very small.
Right.
I've experienced everything from verbal abuse to physical abuse to and mental abuse to being financially scammed, uh, and and when you know you're good and when you're told you're good and you're still rejected because you're 2 inches too tall for the role, too short for the role, 5 years too young for the role, 5 years
Mm.
too old for the role, especially later on in your life when you realize that these rules don't apply to stars. If
Right.
Amir Khan can play a college student in Three Idiots,
Right.
then Prashantt Gupta can play a college student.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Um, but you know what? I'm not saying all of this with the purpose of saying, कि देखो मेरे साथ क्या हुआ. Oh my God, I went through this and that. The purpose of it is to say is that I survived it. I survived it with family help, with the support of my wife and my parents, with the blessings of God. But I'm so grateful for the mental sanity and the strength I have today. And I want everybody out there who's eventually going to see this interview to know that if you are okay going to a doctor for a pain in the foot, to a pain in the throat, to a pain in the head, please don't hesitate in going to a doctor for a pain in the soul or a pain in the psychological aspect of your existence. I can personally tell everybody out there watching that I have been through psychotherapy, mental health therapy, life coaching, hypnotherapy, and it has worked wonders for me.
Mm.
It has changed my life. And pursue your dream. If your dream is to be an actor, please pursue your dream. The only thing I would change about my life looking back is in the 20s, a lot of people will tell you कि बेटा actor बनो, लेकिन एक plan B भी रखो. Have a plan B.
Right.
Or, and in the 20s now, you'll take this very insultingly. कि, are you suggesting that because you don't think I'll make it? Huh? But friends or elders are actually telling you that because it's a volatile line of work. And before you go crazy or commit suicide um, or start abusing drugs, there's no harm having an alternative stream of income. I
Right.
would only change that about my life, that I did not make one, possibly also because I come from a family that took good care of me with all my basic necessities in life. But I was so focused with blinkers and 4, 6 horses running in one direction of acting, 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 that I never thought I'd need another route. And my successes happened so slow that every time I got a film, I thought कि now I'm sorted. अब तो निकल जाऊंगा. अब तो हो जाएगा. You know. And then the next will happen 2 years later, and the next will happen 2 years later. I'm like, how do I survive? How do I make this happen? But I figured out ways to make money. I figured out ways to save money, and today I'm in a relatively better place with all the work I've done. So I'm grateful to God.
Yeah. You know, you said it took about 10 to 12 to 14 years to finally make it, right? I look at that as, for example, doctors, they have to go through 10 years of schooling to finally get that job, land that job with
Hmm.
training and all this. So kind of look at that as like that training period. Um, After going through all of that, what would you say is the most rewarding about your career?
Um, Today, the most rewarding thing is that I am considered more known by people than by myself. I do not credit myself as much as people credit me. When I get calls from people around the world, simple things. Ki, we're doing a celeb party and we'd like to invite you. I feel, I'm a celeb. When people call me from around the world and say that we'd like you to be chief guest at our function, I'd like, chief guest. Um, and when randomly people call me on message me on Facebook or Instagram and saying, um, we saw your work and you're very good, and they send me screenshots from around the world, Australia, London, or wherever, we're watching your film. And the simple compliment of you are a very good actor means everything to me. Means everything to me. My parents still don't know how much of the world, whether in San Francisco, LA, New York, New Jersey, London, Australia, has seen me or my work, because for them, I'm still their son. And for them, I'm still like, are you self independent yet? Are you able to sustain this on your own yet? Because those will be the concerns of a parent, naturally. But the biggest takeaway is, how much of a better person did this struggle make me?
Mm.
Success तो अभी बहुत बाकी है. Crores and millions of dollars
Definitely.
are on their way.
Right.
Oscars and film fairs are on their way.
Right.
Cannes Film Festival Awards or Golden Globe Film Festival Awards are all on their way. I believe the best is yet to come, because it can't get any worse than I've been through. So, having said that, um, I'm glad that I'm going to be facing the best phase of my life with this mind and this conscience, not that of the 25 or 27-year-old Prashanth, who possibly would not have been able to handle it. Um,
Mm.
I know how to treat people today. I know how to talk to people today. The level of empathy I have, the level of basic goodness for humanity I have, the non-judgmentalness I have, the the ease with which I'm able to forgive you, myself, X, Y, Z, and the level of gratitude I feel for this interview, and this cup of coffee, and the beautiful weather here in New York. I'm an overall more wholesome, evolved person. And with this, if I can find the success that Irfan Khan, Priyanka Chopra, Manoj Bajpayee, then it's possibly the greatest life lived.
Not if, I would say when you find that
When?
success.
Yes.
When. Yes. So, do you have any rituals on how you start your day?
I now, and those have been some of the game changers in my life.
Mm.
Um, I I came to know recently. It's funny I say that, because we've all had a conscious, unconscious, subconscious, right from the time we were in the womb. But the power of the subconscious is a discovery I made only in the last 1.5 to 2 years, which were the hardest for me mentally and physically, because I've went through a lot of challenges in the last 18-24 months. But what you do in the last 10 minutes of your day and what you do in the first 10 minutes of your day will be the game changer of your life. Because even when you're sleeping for the 6-7 hours that you're sleeping, your subconscious is active and alive. And the way a surgeon goes into your kidney or hernia or gallbladder to operate on you, you can physically operate on your own life's manifestations if you dig deep into the subconscious. So the affirmations you do at night
Mm.
or the affirmations you do first thing in the morning will be a big game changer in your life. Number two, upon waking up in the morning, actually looking in the mirror and telling the mirror you love yourself, and actually holding the mirror and touching your face, but in the mirror. I love you, Prashant. Your voice is so good. Your hair looks good today, Prashant. Look at you. You have a beautiful wife and you have good kids. I really love you, Prashant. And I just want you to know that I love you. And for the first 4 or 5 days, it's going to be awkward that, what are you doing? Is this uh, child's play or what? And you're going to find resistance coming up. Okay,
Right.
no, 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 no. I'm only saying it, but I don't love myself. And the resistance will be the answers as to why don't you love yourself.
Mhm.
So talking to the mirror is one thing. Journaling has helped me a lot. Two favorite words of my life: gratitude and forgiveness.
Mm.
Gratitude letters to God, to the universe, to yourself, to people. Equally, forgiveness letters to God, to the universe, to people, to yourself. Um, I journal a lot. I talk to the mirror a lot. I make sure that in the first 5 minutes of my day, in the last 5 minutes of my day, I do something that my subconscious can really absorb and change my life. I These are some new rituals in my life that have done me wonders. I'm a big follower of Louise Hay, and she's been a extremely helpful person. I work out a lot. I meditate a lot. I talk to the sun in the morning. Um, these things, these things, everybody out there can do, and they'll find in 21 days, 25 days that life has changed.
I love those advice because I completely agree. The subconscious mind is such an important place to completely reprogram, rechange your life in 21 days, in 28 days, 30 days, however long it takes. But constantly working at it, and especially those last 10 minutes of the day, putting those, infusing yourself with affirmations that you want to come true in your life, possibly journaling at that time as well, and going into sleep with that state of what you want to, visualize what you want to manifest in your life,
Yeah.
and it will definitely come true. I use a journal as well, and everything that I've written out in the journal has always come to pass. It's always come true.
Right. Yeah.
Such a manifest, powerful tool to manifest. So I'm an engineer. My wife is an attorney, and they have, we have engineers and attorneys. We have like these conferences that we can attend. We can read papers to kind of, keep up to date on on the latest of what's been going on. We have these courses that we could take from time to time. So, is there any such thing for actors, or like how
um
do you kind of keep up with your profession?
the thing is that most people aspiring to get into this line of work will be, I don't want to say the word fooled, but will be lured into believing that they need to go to acting school. Um, the truth is, you don't learn acting in acting
Mm,
school. It's semi theoretical and semi practical. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. There are great schools and great workshops out there, but unlike surgery or unlike engineering, acting is something you really know from within. That is the basic soul of an artist there within you. Um, Rumi had this very beautiful quote about the seed of whatever it is you are meant to be in life has been planted in your soul long before you were born.
mm.
Um, and acting school might help you become familiar with acting terminology, film terminology. It might help you discover that you're not that good or as good as you thought, or it might help you pick up on one or two tools to make you better going forward. But what's really going to make you a better actor um, is constantly auditioning. And I know nobody likes to audition. I at this stage don't like to audition anymore. I have enough work done to show that if you want me, you can look at my work. But nevertheless, some of the biggest actors out there still audition. Auditioning, I would say, go and audition with the desire to become a better actor, because you
Mm.
can be the best actor and still not get the job. So do not ever assume that the audition has to do with how good or bad an actor you are. Use an audition to make sure that it's an opportunity to better your craft. But there are some great acting books out there which one should read just to gain an insight into the world of acting. Um,
What are a
Constantly
couple of those books?
there's a series. There's a
Mm,
series called The Anatomy of an Actor.
mm,
Okay. And so one book is based on Meryl Streep, one based on Al Pacino, one on Marlon Brando, one on Robert De Niro, so on. I have the
wow.
entire series. It's called The Anatomy of an Actor. Um, David Mamet, the great playwright, wrote a book called True and False, which is a great acting book. Michael Caine, the legendary Hollywood actor and British actor, um, wrote a book, I think, called Acting for the Camera or Acting in Film. Um, And I would say reading these books, reading the autobiographies of famous actors will take you into their world and their journey. Watching the Hollywood roundtables, Hollywood report roundtable conversations is a great way. Basically, bottom line is every single day, like the way you dedicate 1 hour to the gym, dedicate 1 to 2 hours to watching a good film, a classic performance, an Oscar winning performance, some interviews of actors, some acting books, and all of this will just get planted into your subconscious. But even with all of this, you're only going to be good once you have enough opportunity to face the camera. You could be a wonder performer in your first film, or you could grow gradually. But be true to the character and surrender to the universe and tell it to take over your performance. This is what I do. This is a secret of mine. It's like I had read somewhere where Jesus said that it wasn't he who was performing the miracles when he was healing or saving a life. It was his faith in his Father, the Almighty God, that the God Almighty will heal the person, that Jesus was just a medium. Similarly, when I'm in front of a camera, before every shot, I say, it's not me, it's you. You are the voice, you are the expressions, you are the angle, you are the face, you are the everything. I am the medium, and I surrender because I'm hoping that everything that comes out of me is as beautiful as a miracle. Um, so there are enough tools out there. It's a craft. It can be bettered, it can be practiced. But to say that it can be taught, it can't be taught.
Okay. So
Meryl
basically, it's
Streep,
a practice.
yeah, even Meryl Streep was asked in an interview that you being one of the greatest actors of all time, what words of wisdom can you impart on, aspiring actors or students of acting? And she said, I am not a good teacher. She said that it's something that comes to me. And fortunately, I'm able to do it well. But I don't know what to teach. I don't know how to tell others how to do it.
That's very interesting. You mentioned a little bit about how you surrender. So surrender means letting go. How do you kind of get out of the way? Was it the only thing that you said when you talk to yourself? You are, this is you. It's not me. Is that the way you get out of the way? Is there something you do in your meditation that helps you get out of the way, or how do you kind of do that?
I'm able to do that with more ease in front of the camera because once those three words go, roll sound, camera, action, then something else happens. Then it's it's like God came into the room and now something has changed. So I'm able to surrender and let go in front of the camera. I'm not interested in being Prashanth at all. Um, I don't bring myself as Prashanth to the character or to the performance. But in my reality, it's not easy. I'm still not able to get out of my own way completely. More than before, yes. More surrender than before, yes. But getting out of your own way and completely surrendering, the truth is we're all so scared. We feel like, where do we draw the line between being complacent and being faithful to the divinity? Um, does letting go mean putting your head back and saying कि छोड़ दिया मैंने सब कुछ, it's all done, they'll take care of it.
हो जाएगा.
Ah, हो जाएगा. Um, or does it mean that you're doing everything you possibly can, but letting go of the result? And when you're doing everything you possibly can in the world to reach where you want to reach, it's very difficult to let go of the result. The result will affect you. A good result will make you feel happy and proud and make you feel like my hard work paid off. And a bad result will make you feel like this is unfair. What is wrong with this? What more can I possibly do?
Yeah,
So
I put my best in there.
yeah, yeah. So it's a process. It's a process.
Yeah. I definitely see that in all of most of your recent roles where you've gotten out of the way and the best comes out when you're on screen, right? And I definitely see that because I've enjoyed those performances. Tashkent Files, Special Ops, it's been amazing. and you've had some very significant roles in Bollywood. What's the most fun role that you've played?
The Tashkent Files,
Okay.
um, because I got to work with some really serious and senior actors, and that was an honor for me because in that room I was the junior most in experience with all the other
Mm,
actors, and it was just an honor for me to be working with Mithun Chakrabarti and Pallavi Joshi and Pankaj Tripathi, Mandira Bedi. Um, it was fun because these were people who were very good to me. I got to do something effective on camera. But A New Christmas was a lot of fun also, which is on Amazon Prime, and people in the States can watch it because actor producer combination was overwhelming. But I was shooting in my favorite city in the world. I was shooting in New York,
mm,
and that was fun. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't just a part of a film or a significant part of a film revolved around my character. And that was a very healthy and a very humbling weight to carry on my shoulders. And there are some upcoming projects of mine which I can't talk about right now because they you have these contracts with your producers. But there's a good couple of mine coming out, which are actually the most fun I've ever had in a film. So I'm looking forward to those coming out.
when are they coming out? When can we expect them?
I really hope this year, with the lockdown,
Yeah.
um, things have just been, and everybody knows India is going through a major crisis. But I hope by the end of this year, this one film of mine, it's called Love You Bahut Sara.
Mm,
Uh, I hope it comes out by the end of this year. It's already won Best Film at the South Asian International Film Festival in New York and
wow.
at the UK Asian Film Festival in London. It has me in it with Revati, who's a big legend in the South.
Hmm.
So I can talk this much about it, but I can't wait for it to come out. I play a poet in the film. You can imagine how
Wow.
much fun I had with it.
Wow. So that's your
Yeah,
natural position.
yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I can't wait for that too. Love you,
yeah,
both, Sarah. I'm looking forward to that.
yeah.
What would you say has been your greatest challenge thus far?
To keep sane, to keep sane, and to allow my to make sure that my wife, my parents, don't go crazy waiting for me to succeed in life. Um, that's been my greatest challenge because the world can care less actually if you fail or succeed. You know,
Right. Yeah.
um, you think you're proving it to the world. The truth is, they don't care. Your wife cares. Your parents care. So to keep them waiting for as long as they've waited has been the greatest challenge.
Mm, wow. That's how did you overcome it? What did you do?
I
Just
didn't have to. I was just blessed with a good wife and good parents who stood
okay.
by me. They didn't. Of course, there are breakdowns. The wife will have a breakdown. I will have a breakdown. The parents may have a breakdown. But they never gave up on me. I never gave up on me. God hasn't given up on me. But to keep the family sane, to keep this from becoming an alcoholic or a drug abuser or anything else has been the greatest challenge. To just remain sane, to love acting as much as I still love it,
Mm,
and to want to become what I want to become. I want to become more things in life now than just an actor. But
mm.
uh, to keep that passion alive for performing, and to reach that point where now people are saying that it's just around the corner for you because you're really good at what you do. To have earned that respect of good actor has been an achievement, and I will make sure we live up to it.
Yeah. How let's manifest together. You said you
Let's
wanted to
go.
be more than an actor. What
Yeah,
else? What were the other things that you wanted to like get into or doing currently?
author, um, motivational speaker,
Mm,
producer.
mm,
Yeah, I just feel that there's so much more to what God has given me. You know, acting, but I don't want the other things to give birth to the actor in me. I want the actor in me to give birth to the other things. Um, the author, the motivational speaker, the producer will be born out of the actor.
Right.
But yeah, I want my book at airports around the world in the bestseller section. I I want to do TED Talks and I want to give speeches around the world. I want to be invited for events and recite my poetry and talk about life and make 100 people feel good about their journey in life and make them feel like they can. There's a part of me that is an Al Pacino. There's a part of me that's a Tony Robbins, and there's a part of me that's an Oprah Winfrey, and there's a part of me that's a Priyanka Chopra, and I want all of that to manifest.
And so they'll all come out at different phases in your life, right? So currently
Absolutely,
you're in one phase, and then you'll get to those phases. So I love that. I love
absolutely.
that. Yeah, I love how you want to. You're doing something, but then you also want to give back. You want to help other people by writing, by speaking, by sharing, by just making people feel good about themselves, about their lives, about their journeys. So I really love that about you. You're such a you have a passion for the craft of acting more than most people do, and you're constantly improving on your roles over the years. So that's been yeah, Prashanth, it's been such a great opportunity to have this chat with you. What's
Likewise.
one last message that you would like to share to our audience?
Find the happiness within you and whatever it takes to make yourself happy every single living day. Do not put it off to tomorrow. You don't know if you have tomorrow. And there are enough things that make us all happy as individuals. Write them down on a piece of paper and do those 4 to 5 things every single day, spread out throughout the day, so that you always have something happy to look forward to. 9 a.m., you should do something that makes you happy, and then look forward to 12 noon to do the next thing that makes you happy. And you'll basically be happy. And you won't be dependent on your child, your spouse, your parent, your girlfriend, boyfriend, producer, or boss to make you happy. You make yourself happy. And the more you do that throughout the day, the more you will attract it in your life, because that is the ultimate goal of our existence in this world, to be happy. So start by making yourself happy.
That's beautiful. Start by making yourself happy. And that I think that is the key, because if you're happy, then everyone around you will automatically share that same happiness, and you can start making them happy as well. If you don't have that inside of you, how can you share that with other people? And
No,
that's
no,
that's
no.
kind of always been my motto. Thank you, Prashanth. It's been fantastic chatting with you. It was a pleasure learning from your rituals to your greatest challenges to what was most rewarding about your career. Thank you so much for joining in. And everybody that watched this video, if you have any questions, any comments for Prashanth, please hit him up. Where can they find you, Prashanth?
Instagram is the best place to find me. DM me there at Prashantt Gupta, the way my name is spelled on the screen. And I promise to you, I will reply.
He definitely replies, because that's how he responded. We talked about it, and that's how this manifested. So yes, he definitely does respond. Thank you again. Thank you, Prashanth. Love and abundance, everybody. I hope you had a fantastic episode. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Please like, subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share with your friends and anybody that this can benefit. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you all have
Thank
a
you.
fantastic day.